Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of the SWUS. College football week 7. We got the midweek Conference USA action starting. For those of you that weren't gambling on college football last year, brace yourself. This is tough. I mean, I've been getting crushed by college football regardless, but these games are, woo, they're fun though. So in this one, Tuesday night, FIU Liberty. Let's go.
Welcome to the SWUS. The SWUS. SWUS. Hey, get the SWUS.
All right, like I said, we got FIU on the road at Liberty here. Flames laying 17.5 points at home. Total sitting at 54.5, pretty much across the board. Consensus 54.5 point total. So let's talk about this matchup, and we'll start with, is there a rust factor here for Liberty? They have not played a football game since September 21st, 17 days off. Their game against App State got canceled due to the hurricane, and then they had a bye week. So 17 days since Liberty has played a football game. Now, FIU is also coming off a bye, so it's been 10 days for them as well. So maybe that makes it a little bit better, but it's definitely something to keep in mind here. Liberty has not played a football game in over 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks now. Last year, they beat the hell out of Florida International. 38-6 was the final score on the road at FIU. A few years before that, FIU actually played them tough. Final score was 36-34. Liberty was laying 10, so FIU covered against Liberty the last time they saw them before last year, but I mean, that's 4 years ago. Who cares? So let's talk about this particular matchup. FIU's been throwing the ball with 58th in pass frequency, running a bit of a slow pace, 113th in pace. Their offensive numbers, not great. I mean, not much of a run game at all. 106 in yards per carry, 121st in success rate, 120th in effective rush. Passing numbers do look slightly better than that, and they do seem to be improving slightly as the season progresses, but still, I mean, these aren't great. 94th in yards per attempt, 79th in success rate per dropback, 99th in effective pass. Jenkins' numbers on the year, just under 1,100 yards passing, 7.6 yards per attempt, 9 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. D in big-time throw rate, hasn't made a ton of big plays through the air, but if you isolate it to just the last 3 games, like I said, we are seeing improvement. In the last 3 games for FIU, they're averaging over 286 passing yards per game, 8.7 yards per attempt, almost a 46% success rate per dropback. That's very good, to be fair. A lot of that damage was done in the Monmouth game. 362 passing yards in that one, 11.3 yards per attempt, 58.6% success rate per dropback. So yeah, they lit Monmouth up through the air, but still, no question, we are seeing improvements here. As far as the FIU passing attack, Jenkins is definitely improving. Now, he'll definitely have his hands full in this one. Liberty's defense has excellent numbers, 13th in yards per play, 36th in success rate, 13th in PPA. If you look at the schedule-adjusted numbers, though, 78th in effective rush, 77th in effective pass, 87th in DFEI. If you're wondering why that is, it's because they really haven't seen much offensive talent so far this year. They opened their season up against Campbell. That's an FCS opponent, and Campbell actually made a few plays through the air on him. 194 yards passing, 10.8 yards per pass attempt for Campbell against them. Now, in the last 3 games since then, they've done a solid job against the pass, 6.2 yards per attempt, 202 passing yards allowed per game. But if you look at their opponents, I mean, New Mexico State, Diego Bobby is not there anymore. UTEP is having all kinds of issues at quarterback. East Carolina doesn't have a passing attack. So as crazy as it sounds, you could argue that Jags and the FIU passing attack might be Liberty's toughest test so far this year. Now, in terms of stopping the run, though, I don't think FIU is going to do much on the ground. They were able to make a few plays in the run game against Central Michigan, 5.61 yards per carry. But if you look at the success rate, I mean, it's indicative of them breaking a few runs that are skewing the numbers a bit. We know FIU doesn't have much of a rushing attack. This is an offense that needs to throw the ball. In their other 4 games, not named Central Michigan, just 3.07 yards per carry, 87.5 rushing yards per game, 33.1% success rate. So this is not a good rushing attack, and Liberty on the season against the run is allowing just 3.3 yards per carry. So the run game is probably not going to be there for FIU in this one, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see Jenkins make some plays through the air. Like I said, Liberty's pass defense hasn't been tested at all. This is a Liberty secondary that lost 3 main pieces from last year, 3 of their best players gone this year, and look, FIU wasn't able to do much offensively against Liberty last year, but Jenkins is back at quarterback. He was a freshman last year, another year experience. 4 of the 5 starters on their offensive line are back. So I think FIU is going to be able to make some plays here. But what about on the other side of the ball? What do we think of Liberty's offense? Well, just like last year, Liberty runs the ball. Cooley, Salter, it's pretty much the same weapons as last year. They want to run the football. Numbers look pretty good on the year. 28th in yards per play, 26th in success rate, 26th in effective rush. So this is a very, very good rushing attack. Certainly the best in Conference USA. 39th in yards per carry, 25th in success rate. Raw passing data looks okay. 18th in yards per pass attempt, but they're just 68th in effective pass. They don't throw the ball much. Usually it's to catch you off guard. Salter will make a big play, but as a whole, this is a run-first offense all the way. Salter's numbers on the year look pretty good. 949 yards passing, 9.1 yards per attempt, 7 touchdowns, 1 interception. Like I said, I mean, this is an offense that wants to run the ball. And honestly, FIU's done a solid job against the pass so far this year, allowing just 6.14 yards per pass attempt. 42.3% success rate per dropback isn't really that bad. So FIU's actually done a solid job defensively against the pass. The problem is they've struggled a bit against the run. Just 90th in yards per carry allowed, 87th in success rate, 105th in effective rush. That is not what you want to see when you're going into a matchup against Liberty. Liberty's offensive line should have no problem generating push against FIU's defensive front. I mean, they're 10th in run blocking grade, 47th in line yards, 41st in stuff rate. So no question, stopping Liberty's rushing attack is going to be a chore here for FIU. Now, if I was recording this in the offseason before the season started, I would say FIU's pass rush might be a tough matchup here for Liberty. Liberty lost 3 starters on their offensive line from last year. They brought back just 2 starters. And FIU, coming into the season, was supposed to be a dangerous pull by Conference USA standards. They were supposed to be a good pass rush. Look at Salter's numbers when pressured. Certainly a big drop-off in production. QB rating goes from an A+ to an F. He struggled when pressured. The problem is FIU's pass rush really hasn't lived up to what they were supposed to be. I mean, if you look at the PFF grade at the top here, they're still 53rd in pass rush grade. Like I said, this was supposed to be one of the better pass rushers in Conference USA, but they're just 106th in pressure rate, 114th in sack rate. They really haven't shown us yet. So look, on paper, FIU's pass rush should be able to make some plays on Liberty's offensive line and put some pressure on Salter, but I mean, first of all they're going to be doing is running the ball. Second of all, like I said, they haven't really shown us it yet, so I don't know if we really can count on that happening. Now, if you're looking to bet FIU in this game, I do have something for you. Obviously, as we talked about, Liberty's going to be running the football, and FIU is going to struggle to stop it, right? Well, those 2 units seem to be trending in opposite directions here. Liberty rushing attack, first 2 games, 248.5 rushing yards per game, looking like last year, 5.92 yards per carry. In their last 2 games, just 4.42 yards per carry, 190 rushing yards per game. So the rushing production down, back-to-back games for Liberty. And FIU's run defense, first 4 games of the season, allowing 5.1 yards per carry, 212.8 rushing yards per game. But in their last game against Louisiana Tech, just 2.72 yards per carry, 79 rushing yards allowed, 31% success rate. They played the run great against Louisiana Tech. I say that a little bit tongue-in-cheek because Louisiana Tech doesn't run the ball. They're 25th in passing frequency. In fact, they couldn't be more opposite of Liberty's offense. So not sure how much we can read into that. So where does that leave me in terms of placing a bet? Well, truly, I think Jenkins is able to make some plays on the Liberty secondary. I do. I think they're going to score points. The problem is they're going to struggle to make stops. So I think the over is the move here. And I know FIU's slow pace may scare some people off the over. They're 113th in plays per game. Liberty's 53rd. But if Liberty's going to be running the ball down their throats, putting points on the board, and putting FIU in a position where they need to throw the ball and play catch-up, I think it all points to an over. So I'm going to take the over at 54.5. I also like how FIU is coming off their worst offensive performance of the season. Their last game against Louisiana Tech right before their bye week, they were held to 17 points, just 4.83 yards per play. So some people may be looking at that like, oh, this offense sucks. Well, the 3 games before that, they were averaging 38 points per game, 6.82 yards per play. Granted, they weren't playing teams the likes of Liberty, but still, this offense was working. They were putting points up. So if Liberty's going to run the ball down their throats and put points up, I honestly think Jenkins and the FIU offense is able to respond and put points up too. So it points you to the over, 54.5, or FIU team total over 17.5. I like FIU to score some points here. So that's where I'm going, somewhere. I haven't bet it yet. When I do bet it, it'll be super light. These midweek Conference USA games are challenging. So, you know what? Give me FIU team total over 17.5, over 54.5. If you'd like to see all the bets I have open, head over to KyleKirms.com and click on Open Bets. You'll see all mine as well as everyone on the staff here. Also, if you sign up to Sauce Network Plus, it comes with access to the Discord, and you can participate in the weekly betting league. New league starts today, actually, depending on when you're watching this. Tuesday starts the new league. $150 cash, and one of these trophies go to the winner every week. So if you're interested, head over to the website and sign up. Let's have ourselves a good college football week. I need it so badly. I'm getting crushed by college football, which, disclaimer, I'm getting crushed in college football. So if you are tailing, please do so responsibly. Yeah, hit me up in the Discord if you need me.